I made $400 to $600 a week profit just selling my stockpile items. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it, where I sold them, and how you can sell your stockpile items to make a profit as well. Before we get started here, I do want to tell you guys, everybody's going to do this in a different way. And honestly, I think it's going to depend on what area you live in, how many couponers there currently are selling couponing stockpile items in your area. But first, I'm going to give you guys some tips, some really important tips, I think, and then I'll tell you exactly where and how I sold my stockpile. Either way, before you leave, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for post notifications so you never miss a couponing deal, especially at Dollar General. Give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, even as we go throughout the video, make sure you leave those down below. So let's jump into tip number 1. When you're selling these stockpile items, I don't think it is a good idea to ever have anyone come to your house. My husband was really uncomfortable with people coming here. At one point, my car messed up and I had to have people come to my house. But what I learned to do was go around the corner so they didn't know exactly where I lived. A lot of the times what would happen, and what really kind of burnt me out and frustrated me after a while of selling my stockpile items, and I'm just being honest with you guys, like for example, we were supposed to meet at 5 o'clock and I would get there at 5 o'clock, they would message me and say, hey, I can't get there at 5, can you be there at 7? Now, if I'm hanging around Walgreens for 2 hours, time is money. I mean, you're losing money. So what I learned to do, since there is a Walmart about 2 miles from my house, what I would do is I would give them a couple of different options, and I would try to make it times that I knew I was going to be leaving my house and passing Walmart, so I wasn't wasting my gas and my time. But I would be like, hey, I can meet at 2:30 or 6:30. Which time's best for you? And that usually works out pretty well. Sometimes they'll have like special requests, and if they're a regular weekly buyer, you might want to go ahead and cater to their needs. But if it's your first time selling to a person, just be careful, because a lot of people will beat around the bush and want you to wait around and reschedule 1,000 times, and it can be really annoying. And as I said, I did get really burnt out on that aspect of selling my stockpile items. Tip number 3 is build your stockpile items as much as possible before you start selling. So I started selling my stockpile items as soon as I started couponing, and I didn't really build up a stockpile at first. I didn't have a lot of money, so what I would do is buy some stuff, resell it to get more money to buy more stuff. And it was really hectic and hard for me to keep items that I needed for my family. So sometimes I would like run out of toilet paper, and there weren't any good sales on toilet paper, so I would have to go pay more money for toilet paper, you know, and it was just a ridiculous cycle. One of the things that I really wish I would have done differently is I would have built up my stockpile at least for a week or two before I started selling, because what happens is these people depend on you. Once they start buying items from you, if you're selling them, you know, a good amount of items for a good price, they're going to continue to buy from you probably every time they get paid. Especially in my area, a lot of people work at like McDonald's or Walmart. It's minimum wage jobs, so they don't have a lot of money either, and they would depend on me every single week. So I knew when everybody's paydays were. On Monday, I would sell to Rebecca, Sherry, and Ashley. On Tuesdays, I would sell to da-da-da-da, and they really become like your regular customers. So you want to keep them stocked, because if they're coming to you for items that you don't have, believe you me, they will go somewhere else, and they might start buying from somebody else. But if you can keep them happy every single week, then they'll continue to buy from you, and in order to do that, you need to have a pretty good stockpile to start with. Tip number 4 is you're going to have to keep track of how much you paid for everything, and you're also going to have to make sure you're making a good profit. So if you're selling shampoo and you buy Pantene shampoo for $2 a bottle, you're not going to be able to sell that shampoo for half price, because $2 is half price. And it makes it really hard sometimes, but you're going to have to be really careful about the deals that you do and keep up with how much you paid for everything. So I would just try to keep a little notebook and quickly jot things down of how much I was spending and what I was paying for each individual item, so I could always make sure I was actually making a profit. So I would sell these items in bundles, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. And you want to make sure the overall bundle you're still making a pretty good profit. It's got to be worth your time. You got to consider how much you paid for coupons even. So you're going to want to consider this as your little business. You're making money for items that you're selling. Essentially, this is your business, whether or not you're selling a lot of items every week or just a few items here and there to get by. Let's talk about the where and the how, because that is probably the most important. I remember watching a news clip of this lady who was selling her stockpile and making about, I think she was making about $300 a week, and she would take all of her entire stockpile, every single item, transport it out in her yard and set it up and sell it that way. People also go to flea markets and just different places like that, and I knew that that was a lot of work, and I didn't want to do that on a regular basis. Also, I didn't have a whole lot of time to go sit at a flea market and sell the items. So what I did is I would bundle the items up. And the way I would bundle them up is I would think to myself, before I started couponing, what items would I go to every week and buy at the store? So, of course, you need toilet paper, laundry detergent, dish soap, cleaning supplies, trash bags, deodorant, shampoo, body wash, those types of things. And sometimes I wouldn't have all of those items, especially when I first started, but I would just put together as a bundle what I did have. And I would usually sell it for half price, like half of Walmart's price. Most people shop at Walmart or, similar department stores that have similar prices. Because if you bought a Dial body wash at CVS, you're going to pay way more than you would pay if you just bought it at Walmart, without a coupon, of course. So you want to do it half price, at least half price of Walmart's price, and put them in a bundle, kind of count up what half price of everything is, add it all together, and I would sell them that way in the Facebook yard sale groups. Now, eventually what happened was when we moved here, there wasn't anybody selling couponing items at the time that I had ever seen. No one. So I started selling bundles, and I would sell them really, really quickly. Guys, sometimes I would post a bundle and I would sell it within minutes or sometimes even seconds, depending on, what was in the bundle. And other couponers obviously was like, wow, she's doing good. So they started selling bundles. So I ended up having a lot of competition, and what I did to kind of eliminate that competition is I created my own Facebook group, and the only people in that group were people that I had sold to in the past. After I would meet them at Walmart and sell them, a $40 bundle, sometimes a smaller bundle like $15, I would send them a private message and say, hey, I do have my own sell group. You're welcome to join, and I would send them the link to my Facebook group. So the only people in my Facebook group were people that I had sold to. So they were customers that I knew would most likely come back to buy more. As I said, people usually bought every payday. Sometimes, though, people only get money here and there. Sometimes they only buy on the first of the month, things like that. It depends on your area. But I put them in my own Facebook group. That way, I kind of eliminated the competition. I did allow some other couponers to sell in my Facebook group, but it were people like that I knew that wouldn't try to, step on my toes, and sometimes I would help them out or try to boost their post for them as well too, because what happens is it does become very hard to keep up with everybody you're selling to. As I said before, you want this to be a business, and you want these people to continue to come back and buy from you. But sometimes when you're selling to 40 regulars a week, that's a lot of people to keep up with. That's a lot of couponing that you have to do. And and it sometimes is a little overwhelming. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it was the easiest thing in the world, but I legitimately, a lot of the times, would be closer to the $600 mark than I was, $400. It would just depend, of course, though, on everybody in the area. The times of the month that I did best were the first of the month and then the middle of the month. So around the 1st and the 15th were like my best days to post. So to give you guys an example, I went and got some stuff out of my stockpile room. This is a really good little laundry bundle. People love paper products and laundry products. Those are the most two popular items. Sometimes you'll have items that don't sell as well, like body wash, deodorant, those types of things, toothpaste, and those are the things that we get free. So I would mix them in with other things that a lot of people did want, like laundry detergent and toilet paper, just so I could get rid of all the items at the same time and I could make more money. Plus, you don't want to just sell like Gain flings and Tide Pods, because what'll happen is you'll sell out of these and then you're not going to be able to sell anything else, and you're not going to be able to get more of these until the next sale. So selling them as a bundle, it just really seemed to work out better that way. Because I did try different things, especially when I first started. I tried just selling shampoo and this and that. And I found that it was way more profitable and less time consuming if I did it this way. So here's a good Gain bundle. We'll talk about it and the price. So we got a Febreze. These are usually about $3 each. We got a bag of Gain Flings. These are the bigger bags, so it's 31 count. These are about $8 to $9 each. We got a 25 load Gain laundry detergent. These are about $5 each. Gain dryer sheet. This is the 34 count, so they're about $2 each. So what I would do is just put them up like in the shelf or something like that and get them all in a picture and take a picture and put them either, in my Facebook group or a regular Facebook yard selling group. And I would count up half price. So half price of this would be about, you could probably sell this all day long for $12. But if you post this on Facebook for $12, it'll go really fast. I promise you. Even if there are other couponers in your area, if you can sell all the good Gain items like this, it'll go really, really fast. So depending on, what's in your stockpile and what you have is how you're going to want to do this. Just if you tend to post laundry products and paper products in your bundles, go really, really fast, you might want to think about raising your price just a few dollars, because if they're selling really fast, you probably could raise your price just a few dollars and still do pretty well. When you're posting these things on like Facebook yard sale sites, people will try to talk you down in price. Never go below 50% of full retail price, especially for laundry and paper products. Because not only, do you need to consider your time, but the price you paid for the coupon and stuff like that. So you have to be really careful about what coupon deals you do. When you're shopping, you really need to start thinking like, if I'm buying this for $1, can I sell it for $2.50? And of course you can all day long. You're also going to want to include your tax for things. Keep those things in mind, how much tax you pay. Another thing to mention, guys, this was a smaller bundle that I gave as an example, but sometimes I would grab one of every item in my stockpile and put it in a bundle and sell it that way. I've sold bundles as big as $150. I also sold some of my penny shopping items. I did try selling couponing items on eBay, and what I found was it was so expensive to ship the items. Usually I wasn't very profitable. I found it to be much more profitable selling in Facebook groups. So try to stick with that. You might want to try to sell a few items on eBay if you're interested. If they're smaller items like makeup and stuff like that, I think those are the better items to sell on eBay. But if you guys have any more questions, put them in the comments of this video. If you sell a bundle, please come back and let me know how it worked out. And make sure you subscribe before you leave. Thanks for watching and spending some time with me today, and good luck selling your bundles, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.